know, judging by the title you saw or the caption on the thumbnail, some of you might be angry, thinking, what am I saying? What is this all about? And some of you might be curious, of you want to know what I want to say. You want to know my perspective of why I said Ghana is not a country yet. But I'll tell you this. I want you to keep an open mind to understand. Try to understand what I'm saying, because we've been trying to deal with a problem for 68 years and it's not working, and it shouldn't take anybody that much of time to be able to deal with this problem, and we've not been able to solve it. You understand? If we have been able to solve it, then we understand, but we've not been able to solve it, which means that whatever we think that we know isn't it. And we need to look at the problem from a different perspective, and that is what I'm trying to do. The series of videos that I'm making is to help us understand the problem. Now, I'm not saying that I understand it, but this is a new perspective that I've gotten, and I'm trying to share it with you so that we think about it. So if you think you know something different, feel free to share it in the comment section. Okay? And I stand to be corrected by what I'm about to say. So with that being said, if this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe, and let's begin. I said Ghana is not a country yet. I mean it, because you see, when you look at the formation of any country, you see that a group of people, they move and they find a land and they choose to settle there, and from there they become more, and they choose to say that this is our country, this is our territory, and they start to build systems and things to govern themselves. Or, different groups of people come together to achieve a goal and later tend to become one. These are how countries are formed. You understand? But you see, in all these different ways that countries are formed, there is something that is key. That even if you are the same people with the same language, same culture, same history, that you try to build a country, or different people coming together, there is something that these two people or this group must have, and that is a common identity, a common language, and a common history, that they will have a common purpose, something that they are going to achieve. That is why they are coming together. That's why they've chosen to be together. That purpose is important. The reason for which they are coming together, it is important, either to survive or to achieve a goal. Because that's the human needs, right? Either we come together to survive or we come together to achieve a goal. That is it. You understand? So these things are very key. But you see, the formation of these groups or this country should be done by the people themselves, not someone outside. If any group of people decide to become a country, it should be done by them. So if you look at any successful country, they have their founding fathers, people who sat down to think and said that we should come together. They have them. And the time in which they sat down and the reasons or the events that led to that, they have that. But let's look at Africa. If you look at the pre-colonial map of Africa, you realize that most African countries that we know of now didn't exist. It was just kingdoms and empires, kings ruling their communities, or people just having kingdoms and empires and communities. There was nothing like country, or the countries that we know of today, most of them didn't exist then. Until the British came, they came to colonize, and then if you look at the African map now, all these countries came to be. Now let's focus on Ghana. If you look at the history of Ghana, you realize that people from, the Ghans will move from somewhere, they will come, they are running away from something, and then they will find a land and they choose to settle there. And, all these different ethnic groups in Ghana, that's how they moved. The Ashantis were there for how long, or how they got to that place. That is just the way people move and settle in places. Now, if you continue to study the history of Ghana, these ethnic groups were there, but they were having conflicts with each other. You understand? The beef, they were, these things happened back then. They were living in that environment, but there was nothing like a concept of let's come in together. No, it was just this group, this kingdom, this kingdom, this kingdom, this kingdom. And then if anything happens and they get into conflict, whoever wins, and establish a dominion. over a town or a small village. That's what they did. There was no concept of coming together as a country, whether the Ashantis or Bono, these Gans, Airways, nothing like that. But they were living in that environment until the British came, and because they wanted to achieve a goal, they knew that keeping them separate won't work. So we have to bring them under one umbrella. And that was when the Gold Coast came in. And they carved the Ghana as we know and other countries, African countries that we know of. Ghana wasn't built by Ghanaians. It wasn't founded by Ghanaians. The British founded Ghana and they left it for us when Kwame Nkrumah fought for independence. So now you see, the country that we are trying to build wasn't built by us. And the foundation that we needed to build the thing, for them as the British, when they were trying to build this thing, they did it for their own interest to accomplish a goal. So they didn't have the mindset of building a foundation in such a way that it will benefit us. No, they wanted to serve a purpose, and that was why they have to put us under one umbrella, one name, and then from there they had to teach us language, because language is very important. If you are going to communicate with people that you people don't understand each other, how would you communicate? So the purpose of them teaching us English wasn't to change our language. They don't care about that. They want to serve a purpose and they need you. So for them to be able to get you into their plan, they have to teach you their language so that they can get you to do what they want you to do. And I stand to be corrected by this. If there is any other reason, you can share your thoughts in the comment section. But I'm telling you this, language is very important, and that's why they had to choose one language. So if you go to other African countries, those who colonized them, they taught them one language, whether it is French, English. They do that so that easy communication. If you look at the Tower of Babel, a group of people with the same language, same culture, same history decided to embark on a project. They tried to build a tower to the heavens, and they were doing it. They were actually building it, and then God came to change one thing, and that was their language, and everything stopped. So that should tell you the importance of language in our environment, what it means and what it can do, the power it holds. Now look at us as a country that we say we are a country. And the reason why I'm doing this video is to bring you to something, you understand, for you to think about something. I am not somebody who really focus on this politics and all that. I don't do that. But recently this year, I decided to follow things because of the current president. Because me, if you are doing something that is not going to bring any progress, I don't really want to waste my time on it. But looking at what this current administration is doing is something good, and I decided to pay attention. But following some of these stories and the way people are behaving, I realized that no, we are not a country, because on one level it looks like different ethnic groups living in one place side by side. There's nothing like one people. No, we are just different ethnic groups. Now forget about the flag and the anthem and the symbols that we've chosen, but at the core of we Ghanaians, that we call ourselves Ghanaians, at the core, it is just different ethnic groups living side by side. And on another level, it's just two political groups living among themselves. Two political groups. And even these groups are linked to certain ethnic groups. And that is why you can say that certain political parties have a stronghold somewhere. NPP to the Ashantis and NDC to the Airways. And this is it. This is it. And that is why if you look at our country, when it comes to we coming together to do something, people cannot put aside their ethnic groups and their political parties to focus on a goal that is going to benefit the country as a whole. People cannot do that. Look at this whole governance and things that we've been doing. When one party is in power and they are trying to do something, instead of the other party to support what they are doing, no. All they have to do is, find a way to criticize them, to paint a bad image about them. And even when somebody does something and is unable to finish, the other doesn't touch it. Look at how many abandoned projects that we have. So at the core, the national goal or the national mission, something that is about the nation, doesn't matter to anyone. People only care if it is about their party or their ethnic group. So where is nationalism in Ghana? If you say you are patriotic, where is it? Where is it? We are not a country. The foundation as to how we were supposed to build our country when they left it for us, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. And that's why for 68 years, we are still here. And what we need right now, what we need is one national identity that people will forget, will let go of all these things, all these different ethnic groups, different languages, and then we settle on one national identity. We build one national culture. Because if you ask anybody who is a Ghanaian, they will say that somebody who is born in Ghana. No. If you ask an American, he will not say somebody who was born in America. They are Americans. But a Ghanaian is somebody who was born in Ghana. A Nigerian is somebody who was born in Nigeria. If I asked you, what is Ghanaian culture? You say it varies because of where you come from in Ghana. Whether you are Ashanti, a Fanti, an Ewe, or you are from the north. There is no national culture that we say that these people are Ghanaians. They are Ghanaians. You know them from their culture, the way they behave, the way they do their things. Look at the Chinese. When you see them, you know them because of the way they build themselves, the culture that they have. Language. We don't have a national language. We don't. So what are we doing? Are we really a country? The basic fundamental things that we are supposed to build a country on, we don't have. And this thing that we are trying to even work on, somebody gave it to us with no understanding of why they did it the way they do. Because we've been talking about divide and conquer. They divided us, but they didn't divide us. They brought us together, and that is our problem. Because we cannot even come together. And that is why for so many years, we've been trying to do this African unity thing, and it's not working. It's not working. They didn't divide us, they brought us together. And we cannot even agree to come together as one. Because we've been talking about the fact that we were together and they separated us. And what is stopping us from coming together? Nothing. So we weren't. Because different ethnic groups, different groups having conflict with each other. Where is the togetherness there? Where is the separation there? You understand? We need to look at this problem from a different perspective, because we've been trying to do this for how many years? And if we don't fix this problem at the core, it will not work. We should forget about it, because look at what we've been doing for all these years. Somebody tries to do something, or let's say this government tries to do something, like recently our train. By the time we decide to do another thing, this one will be destroyed, either intentionally or because of lack of maintenance culture. Some people will intentionally go and destroy it because they want to paint a bad picture or a bad image of whoever did it. And that is what we've been doing all these years. So where is the togetherness that we have as Ghanaians? We don't have that. Now you can sit down to argue it and you say that this. Just take your time and look at it. And that is why nowadays, even during election, people can say that they don't care whatever happens. They are always going to vote for one political party. That is it. They cannot sit down and think and say that, what is this person saying? And that's why people can come and say anything. Politicians will come and tell you things. When you need water, they are building public toilets. That people cannot find a place to build their own public toilet when you provide them with water and the basic amenities. And this is the things that they provide for us, and we are happy and we vote for them because we ourselves don't understand where the problem is coming from. The purpose of this video is for you to understand that what we think the problem is isn't, and this is the time for us to find a different perspective to it so that we think about it, then we decide whether we truly want progress or not. If not, whatever we think that we are doing, it's funny how we sit in a country and admire other countries, but if we don't sit to think about how they've been able to get there, came together as one. Look at America. After they fought the British out, they came together. All these states came together with one vision and built a culture of innovation that they are going to be the best in the world. And that is the goal they've been able to achieve. Look at Ghana. What goal do we have? What is the purpose of Ghana? What the nation? What are we doing? What are we doing? So we need to ask ourselves these questions, things that we've been trying to do for so many years and it's not working. We need to sit down and think about it. So I'm going to leave it to you here. Think about it. Those who were angry, I hope I've been able to, give you a perspective, a new perspective to think about. And those who were curious, now you know why I said Ghana is still not a country. And this thing is something I got from Frank Zanu. You see, his project of, his YouTube channel is, the name is Frank Zanu Project Rethink, to help us rethink certain things. Because we are dealing with a problem, and this problem is not even related to just one country. 54 countries, a whole continent, which means there is something wrong with the way we are approaching the problem. So his project, and when I watched his video, it was like Inception. An idea dominating the mind, and that's why I've decided to start a series of this thing. We are still talking about the problem. We've not even decided on how we can solve it. So thank you guys for watching. If this is your first time watching my video, my name is Richard Higoff, and as you can see, I love my country Ghana, I love Africa, the continent, I love my people, and I talk about business, entrepreneurship, technology, innovation, and African uprising, the youth empowerment. So if you like my content, don't forget to subscribe and leave your comment, like the video, and share it to your friends so that they can also share their views. All right, this is to spark a conversation. You understand? We've been playing all these years. This is to spark a conversation, to help us rethink it in a different way so that we can find a better solution to the problem that we are facing. If not, a lot of dreams will be lost, a lot of lives will be lost, suffering will be our way, and this is not our destiny. We are supposed to change it. We hold the power, we hold the key, so we can change it. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and catch you guys in the next one. Peace.